Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
And welcome to Mobile Armor Radio. This is episode 38, and I'm Rob.
I'm Bryan.
And I'm Chopper.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
Yep, we're in 38. It's hard as summer now, so it's nice and hot.
It's hot. It's hot and muggy.
It's warm.
I got the fireflies out. I got the mosquitoes biting every inch of my exposed flesh.
That
sounds terrible.
You should shut the window.
So when I walk the dogs, when they come
Why are
kill
you
me.
outside?
I gotta walk the dogs.
Well, it's you go into the park with the tufts, so at least it's not tufts shanking you. Instead, it's just mosquitoes beating you.
Well, because the mosquitoes are attacking the tufts too.
Even they're not coming out. It's so hot and mosquito.
Yeah. Oh, it's so muggy today. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's summer. And, I want to give a shout out to my nephew Max, because the last show was, I named it To the Max or something like that, and he thought it was about him, so now it's actually a shout out to him.
Woohoo, go Max.
All right, this is for you, Max.
This is for you, Max. Thanks for listening.
You're A1.
I like how you're talking to like he's like a little kid. He's 29 years old.
You're the best, Max.
You're the best, Max. You keep doing you.
Stay in school. Don't
Stay in school.
Don't do drugs, Max.
Well, we're screwed both ways, I think. Oh, well. So there you go. Did my shout out to him. Anyways, we'll get to the dropship, and we'll talk about what we've been working on. Sound good?
Yes.
Sure.
Dropship landing.
Oh, hey, here's the dropship. And what we've been working on. Who wants to go first? Let's go with Bryan. Bryan, what you been doing this month?
So, recently moved, and part of that was getting a new hobby area set up. A hobby area not only for painting minis and whatnot, but also comes with a 3D printer. So
The house came with a 3D printer?
What? That's crazy.
Well, it was after the table got set up. We could get the printer, but
You had a big empty spot that needed to be filled. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm like, all right, and this corner is just the printer. But no, it's been a really fun, kind of hobby unto itself to get into and start playing around with. Doing the initial like bed leveling is kind of a chore. But I finally got it to that sweet spot, and it's been going really good.
Do you have an FDM printer?
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
So it's a Voxelab Aquila. Huila.
Is it filament or is it resin?
It is filament.
Okay. That's funny, because I have a Voxelab resin one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is it's kind of a I don't know if you call it a copycat, but it's kind of like an alternate for an Ender 3, I think, or an Ender 2.
Yeah, Ender 3. They've released everybody kind of makes their own version of it now. So
yeah, it's an open. I think they open sourced it finally.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because there's like an Ender 6 now that's.
Well, there's the Ender 3 2 or Pro. I think too, right? So.
Well, no, I think the Ender 3 Pro is open source too now, because I think they replaced it with the bed that moves up and down now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mine does not do that. It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
but no, it's been really nice. I've been plugging away at a bunch of finding 3D models to run through it. The big thing I've been playing a lot of. I still play a lot of Dead Zone. I picked up 5 Parsecs from Home, which is a solo campaign sci-fi game that I still kind of play in that Dead Zone Warpath universe with a lot of their minis. But one part of that is you technically have like a little plucky crew with spaceships, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go find me some nice 3D models for spaceships. So I've been looking through those. And finding some, I actually did track down some really nice models, including a couple of fan creations that I was really impressed with. As of today, I found the Outlaw Star on Thingiverse. Yeah, and it's like really nice. I don't know if I'm going to be printing that one because my wife would probably get mad.
Why?
Just because it might take up a lot of space.
Is it quite large?
It is. It can be quite large. They have like a small.
Is it as big as my Battlestar Galactica?
It could be. I'm trying to remember how big that is.
You scale it.
It was about 2 feet. Yeah, it was about 2 feet when it was done.
Yeah. I don't know if that one would be, but I did also find an SDF-1 in flight mode on Thingiverse, that like a snap tight kit or something like that, and that stands about that tall because they had a little kid standing next to it.
Oh wow!
for comparison. But so yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing that kind of for the hobby. The closest mech related thing is I printed off Arvalon 8's MechBay, part of it anyway. I did kind of the floor, and my plan is to find a crane piece to kind of go over the top, and like one that could actually move, and then set that up as some dead zone terrain. So yeah, it's a fun hobby, to be sure.
You'll find that you'll fill up your space quite quickly. So buy shelves.
Yeah.
3D print shelves to put all your stuff on.
But it also does kind of open up that opportunity to maybe do commissions for people.
Do yourself
which is something
a favor.
Kind of interesting.
And get yourself a trash can.
There is a trash can right next to it.
So you can just throw all your failed prints right in there.
I know, the supports and everything. That's what mine... I so much plastic in the garbage with supports.
Yeah, supports and failed prints. You don't want those getting everywhere.
Definitely went through my fair share of failed prints. But yeah, so it's a really cool hobby that I'm starting to get into. And my next kind of goal with it is to really fine tune the settings for doing like FDM minis, so like at the 28 millimeter scale, because obviously there's a lot of great minis out there for like little figurines and stuff, and it's just like want that detail. I don't see myself getting a resin printer anytime soon, so it's like, okay,
I didn't either.
They're fairly cheap. They're about the same price.
No, they're cheaper. Like this resin printer I bought was 150 Canadian. That's nothing.
Like the resin printer I bought, the Ender I bought was only 180, brand new.
Yeah, mine's it's so cheap now. So Bryan, keep the FDM for your bases and your terrain, and buy a resin for minis. I did a lot of minis on my FDM, and I'm telling you, once I got a resin one, I'm never looking back because it's so good.
Yeah, if I decide to make that plunge, it is that interesting thing where I was finding myself as like, man, there's a lot of great minis out there, but as far as like making a force, I need to still obviously I'm just on the tip of the iceberg getting into this, but it's one of those things where it's like most of what I'm seeing is like, man, this stuff is like really over designed and everything looks really unique. I don't know how I'd feel about fielding, a force of like, okay, I need 9 of these guys. Well, there's only 3, different poses kind of thing.
Yeah. Matters what game you're playing. I know there's lots of Patreons for fantasy armies, because obviously between Kings of War and Warhammer, there's tons of people want large fantasy armies, so there's tons of options for that. Sci-fi, it's a lot less generic sci-fi. I think there's a lot of characters for role-playing games or skirmish games, but
yeah. But so that's a part of the hobby I'm definitely dipping my toes into, and we'll see how it goes. Eventually, I know I'm going to be doing like the multi-part prints where it's like, all right, here I got to print 24 pieces. That take maybe an hour a piece.
24? That's nothing.
Right,
yeah,
right.
That's definitely nothing. And the fact that you just said takes an hour to print is also nothing.
Yeah, I know that's a I've got a print going right now that I started like 2 hours ago, and I'm sure it's barely a quarter of the way done.
The longest print I ever did, and because I was 27 hours.
Wow. Yeah, I bet mine is about the same. I try not to go longer than that because a chance of failure after a while it just gets higher and higher. I think so. I'm scared to go long, but I've just recently printed up not recently, but a while ago I printed up a pulse rifle for a full-scale pulse rifle from Aliens, and that's about I would think over 100 pieces. It was a lot of little pieces all fitting together. So I do like those.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do like those multi-piece models. It's more fun when you put it together. Yeah, Pat, what are you up to?
Not super too much. I started organizing because we anticipate Rob's arrival for Gen Con this year. And we're talking about doing a big cav battle. I'll let you talk about what we did for your cav, but I started reorganizing my lists and making sure which models I've painted and which models I don't have painted. I know we talked about starting the hobby again, and I was all for it until I had a little bit of flooding.
Oof.
Because of the rain, so that kind of set me back. I mean, when I say flooding, it wasn't that much, but it was like really humid down there, and I didn't want to paint down there yet. Right. But I did go down last week to start organizing that Neo Zhang, and I opened the box and I pulled some stuff out, and then I got really intimidated.
Yeah, that's a good model.
So I laid it out, and I was like, okay, it's out of the box. The next step is to just really sit down and start painting, and that's going to happen because I love that model, and it's been on that list for so long. So, but looking at my cav, I think what's coming up with the road will be just maybe I think I got another 3 or 4 more actual calves to paint. And then my 5,000 point rock squad should be done.
Nice.
But this also month was bad too because I had to go away for a week for a wedding. So I lost a whole week of hobby time just being in Colorado. I did no hobbying in Colorado.
No, your hobby was drinking?
My hobby was drinking, yeah. But I did more ComStar stuff in the meantime. But
we'll talk about that in ComStar.
Yeah, I definitely need to redo my my FEM for my 3D printer, resin printer, and start spooling some of those figs back up and really get my Clan Vacation Guy star put together so I can get that done. I just need to work out the 5 mechs that will go in that star.
Yeah, you got to find like the most obscure clan mechs that you can think of. Nothing, yeah. No like Timberwolves or any of the
No, ones. I think I forgot what one I painted. Do you remember? Does anyone remember what it was?
Was it an Atlas or
No. It was a clan mech.
Was it a clan mech?
Yeah. Oh, I can't even remember what it was.
It was humanoid though. I remember.
I have no idea. Not the Battle Master.
No, it was a clan mech, not an inner sphere. One of our Facebook guys suggested it, and then I looked at a gargoyle. I think it was. Maybe it was a gargoyle.
That's what it was. Yeah. I knew it was a humanoid mech.
So I'll probably keep the gargoyle, but repaint it nicer than the test model I made. And then I don't know too much about mechs though, so what I want to do is, since it's Clan Vacation Guys, I want to get.
That's why I thought it was an Atlas. Gargoyle looks just like an Atlas.
I want it to look like. I want them to be kind of lazy looking mechs.
Got a lounge.
Yeah, so I just got to find them.
Yeah, do a Miami Vice set next.
So, nice.
What about you, Rob?
Well, I did get that new resin 3D printer, so I've been going crazy on that. Doing a lot of printing, a lot of stuff that I already printed on my FDM, but reprinting stuff, which is fun.
Replacing them.
Yeah, I did for Grid Wars, the I forget what company it is, Titan Miniatures. They have a 3D printed game called Grid Wars, and I redid my police faction for that, so I printed all those guys up. There's one, like the one guy, pretty much all of them look like characters from things. Like there's a girl that looks like what's her name? The Major from Ghost in the Shell, and then there's one robot who looks like from Appleseed. He kind of looks like the guy from Appleseed. So
nice.
Yeah, so I've been doing those. But so I've been playing with that 3D printer, and it's fun. It was cheap, but it works great, so I can't complain. And I've had it for, I don't know, about a week, and I've almost got through a whole bottle of resin, so I think I'm doing all right.
I'm just about, my first full roll of filament is just about gone, actually.
Oh, I went through filament, so, like, literally there was spools of filament, like, laying around. I was like, what am I going to do with these? Can you recycle these? But yeah. And then that, yeah, Pat made up some lists for me for Cav. I'm going for the Order of the Temple. And he did a 2,500 list and a 5,000 list. And hopefully it'll be fun. I'll let people know what I have, and then you can comment and tell Pat that he's terrible at making lists. I have no clue. So
well, I never played with these, so I don't know how they function. But yeah. I just went with I thought, looking at the weaponry and stuff like that.
Keep it simple for me. That's the key.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
So my 2,500 list is a Centurion, a Duelist, a Gladiator 2, and a Spartan. So it's only 4 mechs, which is fine. And,
yeah, one of them, and one of those, I think the Spartan is the light mech, which is your it's your ECM mech. It's the one that's going to give you all your electronic countermeasures.
Yeah. And then for 5,000, it's you were nice enough to include the same mechs in the 2,500 and the 5,000, so I wouldn't have to paint different ones. So, but it's a Centurion, a Warhawk, 2 Gladiator 2s, a Spartan, a Centurion Mark II, a Duelist, and a Crusader. So that's
I think what I did is I kept your original. Yeah, I think I kept your original 25 and then added a second squad.
Squad, yeah. So it should be fun. We're gonna play some of that. I do have some more of my what's the other game? What's the other game from
Pinochle?
No, the other mech game that we played with the tanks.
Battletech?
No.
Not Monster Apocalypse?
Yeah, Monster Apocalypse, yeah. I have some more of those to paint. I have powered armor suits and some planes I think I should paint up. Maybe I'll bring that too. Although I already have a suitcase full of Pat stuff, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have room to bring more stuff, so it's going to be tight. But yeah, hopefully Gen Con still happens at this point, but we'll be there. And it'll be fun.
Even if it does, hopefully they'll open up and then you can just come hang out.
Yes. And
because I already put in for the vacation days.
Yeah. And yeah, excited about that. That's coming up in a couple of months. So, and what else? That's about it. Yeah, painted up my Cav, and I did in the book they had for the Order of the Temple guys. They had a picture. I didn't do them like in their what do they call that, parade colors. I did it in like beige camouflage with gray tiger stripes, kind of. So it looks kind of cool. I like how they turned out. I got to. I only have to spray them, clear coat them, and I'm done. So I have those going for me. Other than that, yeah, just been 3D printing stuff. We'll talk about some more of that in the Hanger Bay. So, MechBay Hanger. I can't even talk now. Anyways, that's all I've been doing. I think that'll.
Usually, it's Pat and I that struggle with the names of the parts of the show.
I know.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in the Michael Bay.
I think it's this resin fumes have gotten to me. I think I've lost a few brain cells.
It's supposed to be a well-ventilated area, Rob.
No, I looked it up. It's fine.
It's
all good. Yeah, we'll come back for ComStar. And we have a lot to talk about in ComStar, so this will be a long one.
Message from ComStar.
Okay, ComStar. I don't know. Let's go with Pat this time. What you been consuming or playing?
So, consuming and playing, I started watching Gundam Hathaway. I'm only into episode 2.5. which is really 3 in 20 minutes. Episode 3, 20 minutes into episode 3. But I like it so far. I don't know what it is with animes and manga, and when they translate, you always put there's always some annoying character in these things that gets me. And in this one, I can't remember the kid's name now, or the girl's name now.
Gigi?
Is it the blonde? Yeah, the blonde.
Yeah, that's Gigi.
Oh my god, if I was in real life, I would have pushed her down some stairs in the first episode.
First episode is what, more than one episode, is there?
Yeah, I don't quite know what pet. It's a movie. It's hour 45.
But you know what I'm saying.
Oh, so you're watching it in sections?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In like the first scene.
I was confused. I was like, is it a series and I missed it?
I literally had to. Well, it is going to have like it's going to be a multi-episode. Movie.
Not to spoil things, but it definitely doesn't end on a end.
I guess I was misleading when I said episodes. Sections, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, I was confused. You're like, what? Yeah, Gigi. She's unique.
I don't know what it is. In Attack of Titan, it was the little blonde kid who was very androgynous. That kid annoyed the shit out of me too.
Armin?
Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted that kid to get squashed so he would just leave the show.
I don't find Hathaway particularly endearing either. So
no, I mean he's not my favorite, but I do like Bright Noah's kid. Now I can't remember his name.
That's
his
name, Hathaway.
That is his name. Hathaway Noah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the other guy.
Oh yeah, the other guy's a dick too. So
the general, the colonel, or whatever his name is, the leader. Yeah, that's the guy. I mean, Hathaway I didn't think is as bad as everyone was saying.
Well, he's just kind of boring. I like the show, but I find he's just kind of a. But well, you haven't got there yet, Pat. But he gets better by the end. So
okay. Well, it's not that I didn't get a chance. I mean, I just other things keep getting in the way, and I try to get back to it. So I watched that.
It was Kenneth Slag. I think the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, Kenneth. Yep.
Yeah. I like. Slag. That's his name. I watched the Cybertronic Spree thing that Rob sent, and they had a live show, didn't they?
Yeah, they did it. Well, they did. It wasn't. Yeah, it was like a live show that they recorded before. It wasn't actually live. They kind of recorded it for something else, but yeah, it was fun. And
they put it out, and so I liked it. I did like their cover of the new cover with "You Got the Touch" with the girl from Iron Maidens.
Nice.
If people don't know who Iron Maidens are, it's a girl Iron Maiden cover band out of L.A. Made up with some of the really top players down there.
Was
that on 10 Seconds After Midnight or whatever that show is? That show?
Which one, Iron Maidens?
Yeah.
They might have been on that show. I know they've done a lot of touring.
But where they did the touch, was that on the...
Oh, yeah, it's whoever that guy is who wears the...
it's 12 Seconds After Midnight. Yeah.
Yeah. But she plays a solo, and she does a really nice little ripping solo on that thing. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's got a nice little, what do you want to call it, melody with Jump by Van Halen in there.
That's right. I forgot about that, yep. Now it's coming back to me.
Cybertronic Spree. So these are the guys that dress up as Transformers when they perform these songs.
I think the bass player is Unicron.
Yeah.
Or Omnicron.
Or the drummer.
No, it's Unicron. Yeah, the drummer.
Whatever Cron he is.
It's Unicron. He's the bass player. Or is he the lead guitarist? I can't remember.
It's unclear.
And the drummer is either Rumble or Soundwave. So it matters who's there.
God.
So if you haven't checked out Cybertronic Spree, you should check them out. They're actually really good musicians, and they put on a good show. So
it was Cybertronic Spree on that. I forgot it was on. They were on 2 Minutes to Late Night. That's what it's called.
Yes,
I forgot they were on that show.
Yes, and they also did that thing with that gal from Iron Maiden. So
yeah, that was on that show. Yeah, and they also did their live show. Yeah, they did a live performance, and they're on tour too. So hey, if anybody's around.
So I backed the Pacific Rim comic omnibus as we speak.
Yep.
I put it on the save, and I wanted to make sure I get in that before that happens. But the next biggest thing I did get was my Redline card game, technical card game course set. If you didn't see it, I did a very, very impromptu unboxing of it. I was very excited to get it, and I wanted to get people to get out there to kind of see what it looked like and stuff. I didn't really open up the decks to show in the unboxing, which in retrospect I probably should have. But I was just excited to get to it and look at everything, and I hadn't even read the rules. The only downside is the print in the rulebook is very small. That being said, they do have the rules on their website. So if you would need a bigger version of it, you can just get it on their website.
Yeah, I think it's the old, Magic the Gathering, really small rulebook thing.
But the Magic the Gathering book is small. It's about the size of a card. This is about the size of 2 decks, and the print is still really small.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to read. And if there's a downside, that's it.
I think you're just old.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that, too. I mean, let's be honest. But the artwork on the cards looks great. I think it's going to be... I read the rules last night. I'll probably do a how to play, maybe one or 2 rounds play through, and we'll put that up so people can check it out. There's some extra cards in here, and I need to go back and look at the Kickstarter because I don't know where they belong. If they belong in the faction decks or if they're just extra cards you can add in or out. Because with the rules, there is a limit to the amount of cards you can have in a deck. So, like I forget what they call them now. Your arsenal, which is your deck, is a maximum of 60 cards.
Gotcha.
So,
hopefully it's in the rules.
Well, no, I think these were like Kickstarter exclusives or what do you want to call them?
They're extra pilots, weren't they?
There are 2 extra pilots, and then there's a whole deck of extra things for both factions. So, and a couple generic resource things. So,
it's awesome to hear that it's finally getting released. I know they ran into some of those delays that a lot of other people on Kickstarter have been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so very excited. Looks good. The minis look good because I added the minis. Those were I posted and showed in my little impromptu. And when I say impromptu, it was just my phone. I didn't even use the regular video camera.
As I said, you were so excited you had to just get it out there.
Yeah. So, but I think that's all I've done so far. Bryan.
I was just going to say, Pat, you also mentioned, you posted, I know, that you found about Bandai as a new mech line. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that thing.
Kyukai Senki?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's an anime. Looking at the trailer, it's really not super spectacular, but the kits themselves that Bandai put out for that show look really good. I really dig the lines on some of them. I know there was a lot of talk on the Facebook page of the show being horrible, but I couldn't tell if everyone's tone if they didn't like the models either.
Well, I think the models look cool, but I'm not even sure if was it a show or it's just like sometimes they do that like fake trailer thing too, so I don't even know if it's a real show.
Oh, someone had mentioned that it was going to be a upcoming show, and they released the models for the show.
Oh, yeah? I thought it might be more like what they did with...
At least that's what I thought it said in the article I read.
I thought it might be more like, what's it called, where it was just the YouTube to sell models. But,
well, for an actual fake anime series, we have a Taco Bell ad.
Yeah.
That's been playing during the Olympics. And, like, for those that haven't seen it, I know Rob's going to link it in the show notes. But it looks like straight out of, like, Pacific Rim or Voltron. It's this short little,
Yeah, it really reminded me
anime.
of Pacific Rim, actually.
Yeah. And, all about these monsters coming for, was it spicy fries?
Yeah, it was a little cheesy, but it was fun. I guess that's the point. They're cheesy fries, right?
Yeah, it's very like melodramatic and bigger than what the commercial is really about.
Yeah.
But it's kind of great in that way. It follows. They used to have a couple of commercial ads like that where they played off this whole like drama series, like thriller, about surrounded around their spicy fries or different products and stuff that would only be around for a small time. And so this is just kind of the latest iteration, but it is like I want to watch the show. Like I'm not even lying. Like it's got that great Voltron and Pacific Rim vibes. So go check it out. It's short. It's like, there's a couple of different ads and they're at most a minute long, but they're fun. They're really well done.
Yeah, and there's like an actual storyline in the ad. Like it was literally, it's like a minute long, but there was enough to like. It was pretty impressive what they did.
Exactly.
I did just look it up, Pat. The that Kyukai Senki is coming out in October of this year.
It says upcoming mecha anime. So
yeah, October. So it's not even out yet. So we'll see. They look cool though.
I think so.
Yeah, and hopefully Taco Bell makes some model kits out of those mechs because they were awesome too.
That'd be pretty sweet. Is it Arby's or that does all the cardboard figurines and stuff like that?
Oh yeah,
someone does.
Craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, it's someone on that because this isn't the first time that they've done cool ads like that. So I think there must be somebody either at the ad agency or at the at Taco Bell that really likes anime, and they really make some cool ads.
I do think it's in no short order that currently the Olympics are going on in Japan. So that's definitely a factor.
Theory.
Well, even in the Olympics, I was watching the triathlon, and they ran right by the Gundam statue, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm. The unicorn Gundam.
Yep.
It's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right.
But
who's up now?
Brian, or anything else you're looking at?
Yeah, I actually also did manage to watch the entire series of Gundam Hathaway. But no, I'm not going to spoil any of it here. But it was a really like visually stunning Gundam series. Like this is, it's strange to think that Unicorn was, so many years ago at this point, and even Gundam the Origin is a couple of years old now. But this is like even a step above that as far as animation quality. Action's pretty solid. I will say that this particular, kind of episode of the story, as it were, is a bit more plot driven. It's a little bit more setup. But
the fights over there are really good though.
Yeah, the fights that are there are really good. They're really so at least one of the fights takes place like we see it from the ground perspective, right? So people running away from
and just the scale of it. Yeah, it's just
the scale of it and the collateral damage really hits home. So
because there's like a plasma weapon, and when it hits things, it kind of shoots plasma off, and you see it like melting things. Like, really well done.
Yeah, just like the sparks off of things are hot enough to melt like steel. So it's really well done. Definitely check it out. I'm really, really excited to see where it goes. It is a show that does appear to be wanting to say things. But I think I was talking to my good friend of the show, Nick Izumi, and he was saying how he's like, this story came out like a year before he was born. Mm-hmm. So like this is from Yoshiyuki Tomino, so the original Gundam author. This was a story he wrote back in the 80s, and it feels very contemporary.
Yeah, for sure. Like if the actual book is this is like a true representation of it, yeah, it's very contemporary.
Yeah. But he's always been really good about that. Like even back in the 70s when he was first coming up with the colonies, right? Because those were all designed off of legitimate space colony designs, and stuff like that. The attention to detail.
Yeah, actual science involved of how they could be where they are and stay there, and yeah, really interesting.
We'll just have to see how well he writes women, because that's always been a challenge for him. So your complaints about Gigi, maybe.
Well, but, maybe we don't know about Gigi, so
we don't know about Gigi yet. It's still early. It's a little too early to call, but he's had his moments with his female characters, to say the least, as far as like that was completely out of left field.
Well, especially the original Gundam, like every prominent female character gets killed. Like it's just if you're a famous female character in Gundam, you're gonna die.
or just the romance in general was kind of like, oh, Bright really likes Mirai, but Mirai has a thing for Slugger, and Slugger's like, I'm gonna go die.
Well, yeah. Most people died. I guess that's the point.
Most people died.
But I was thinking more of what's the one that Char and I just watched it too. What's her name? The one who dies.
Lala. Yeah.
And then what's the other?
I would just throw out there that this is definitely heavily influenced by original Gundam and definitely Char's Counterattack.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you haven't watched Char's Counterattack recently, you'd be lost, I think.
But that's all up on Netflix right now in the US.
I watched I watched Char's Counterattack just to remember it first, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like I'll throw out there, like, as far as I understand, and I'm sure people can clarify for me, I don't think this undoes the events of Unicorn. It takes place after it, and so, but again, it was kind of written before the Unicorn story was. So, the mileage may vary there. At most, just kind of consider this an alternate timeline if you want. Yeah. But I think so far both properties can exist just fine.
Yeah, it takes place 20 years after Char's Counterattack, so it's quite far down the line too. So
yeah, it's like Universal Century 106 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, so watch that. It was one of the first anime I watched in a while. Even though I got that was one of the big things. I did unpack all of my anime, and got that all set up on a bookshelf that I now realize I'm probably going to have to move a little bit. This thing is it's our entertainment's going to be down in the basement, and it is like a floor to ceiling bookshelf. And it's full.
Well, I think people should comment down below if they want Bryan to do a little tour of his anime collection and have a little commentary. Cool. We'll put it up on the YouTube channel, Bryan. Maybe you do a little video.
That would be nice, Rob.
Nice. Maybe if enough people comment on there, and I'm saying 5. If 5 people comment,
or there's 2 of us right now. We can get. I'm sure we get Bryan Wade and we get Rick. That's 4. We just need 1 person.
But yeah, so and I mean I've got a couple of anime that I bought that I haven't watched yet, including I do have the Full Metal Panic Victory to check out yet. That's why I had rewatched that season 2 of those couple months back before my move, and so that's going to be closer to the docket now that it's all unpacked again. But I also managed to clear up some of my gaming backlog, and I have started playing Cyberpunk 2077. And I'm really digging it. There are mechs in it. It counts. I will say I feel a little bit like Pat because there's just so much stuff on the screen. It can be a little overwhelming at times when it's I'm trying to read subtitles of things and people are talking at me and stuff like that. But I'm playing it. I am playing it on a regular PS4.
So I played it.
It has some moments, but so far I haven't run into anything worse than like playing Fallout 4. So like I'm having a good time. It's a very, very compelling world. It went in a direction I didn't expect at the start. So I'm playing as a street kid. To start with, there's kind of 3 paths you can take. But I already foresee myself doing like another like a nomad run, and maybe a corporate one would be kind of fun.
They're all very different. So it's
it
is completely different gameplay when you're playing all 3 different groups.
That's pretty exciting, and there's a lot more Keanu Reeves in it than I was expecting. And
there's almost too much.
It is that thing where it's a Keanu we haven't seen very often.
No.
As far as the type of character he's playing.
Yeah, he's not likable, really.
He's not terribly likable, but he is a larger than life kind of rock star.
Yeah.
And he does a really fun job. I think he really enjoyed his time being that character. So, but yeah, so I think that kind of puts a big cap on that. So it's one of those things where I only play that game every so often, and it's like a sandbox game. So I'm like, this is gonna take me forever.
Yeah, you get immersed in it too, and you realize, oh crap, it's 4 a.m. I better stop playing this.
Yeah.
One more mission. One more
mission. That's how they get you.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll start a 3D print and I'll play, and then I'll come back and check on the print later.
Yeah.
But yeah. So how about you, Rob? What have you been doing in the ComStar?
Once again, I did watch Hathaway. I watched Char's Counterattack the night before, so it was fresh in my mind. So that really helped when I watched Hathaway, because a lot of it depends on knowing stuff that happened in Char's Counterattack, at least for kind of motivations to the character a bit. Although, even in Char's Counterattack, Hathaway's a jerk. Like, so maybe that's why it skewed my opinion of him. So, anyways, I hope to see in the future ones Bright Noah, because he's a great character. So hopefully we'll see an older version of him, because they do say he's still kicking as a captain of a ship. So yeah, it'll be fun. And so that I did enjoy it, but it did leave me going, oh, this is it? This seems like the first episode of a TV show, which makes sense to what Pat said. That's why I thought maybe it was, and I was insane, but no, it's just a movie to start.
I just also want to throw out there, like, the music has some definite, like, it has some really good music, but it also has, like, it starts off with giving me some real, like, Metal Gear Solid vibes. It was kind of weird.
Oh, yeah?
But also, like, it fits the tone in a strange way, but a good way.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's very story driven. It's not mech combat driven. It's about something bigger than just 2 guys wanting to fight over a girl kind of thing. It's definitely something more. But I'm excited to see more, and hopefully it's not going to be another how many years before we get the next chapter. Hopefully it's going to be like Transformers, where they're just pumping them out. So hopefully. Speaking of Transformers, Kingdom's coming out soon. The last of the trilogy. I was never a Beast Wars guy, so I'm not too excited, but that's coming out. I think it actually will be out by the time this episode comes out. Or is it the first? I can't remember what day it comes out. Anyways, that's coming
not sure.
What else? Yes, the Pacific Rim Omnibus. It's that's on Kickstarter right now. It's comics, the Pacific Rim comics. The first 4, I think, that were out before, they're putting into omnibus form, and then they're doing a separate one for Pacific Rim Black, a side story to that. So I have already read all the Pacific Rim comics from before, but they were quite good for licensed comics. They were actually really good comics. So I'm excited to get the omnibus oversized mech combat. And it was pretty reasonably priced for an omnibus. I collect omnibus, so I have quite a few already from DC and Marvel, so and Dark Horse. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Redline. I don't have mine yet, but I'm in Canada, so it'll be a couple more months. Same with Mecha Hack. Mecha Hack supposedly coming out soon too, is shipping, so I'm excited to get that. People are getting that in the States. Did you order that, Pat, or you didn't order that?
I can't remember if I did or didn't.
I definitely ordered both. Well, because you had the digital versions, but I think I have both coming to me eventually. Once Canada ships. What else? I'll give a shout out to Gaming with ADHD. That's our friend Brian Wade's YouTube channel. He's been doing a lot of classic Battletech unboxings. He did
Yep.
City Tech and he did Aerotech. It's fun seeing the old boxes. I have them all, but I don't open them because I'd probably lose all the pieces. So it's nice to see someone actually opening them, looking through them. It brings back a lot of good memories of my high school days to see those box sets. That's when I first got them. So yeah, it's a fun channel. He does a lot of Shadowrun stuff, but he does a lot of Battletech stuff too. So it's cool on that channel. Go check him out. The link will be in the show notes. For comic books, X-Men #1 had a mech versus kaiju battle in it. The new X-Men #1. Pretty much the X-Men formed all their powers together to create a giant robot to fight a kaiju. I was like, oh,
nice.
I guess mechs are coming mainstream here. It was
Which X-Men?
X-Men #1, the new one.
No. Which
Who was on the team?
yeah.
Definitely Polaris was there. That helped a lot with the metal. Who else was Rogue was there, I think? Who else was there?
Because I don't even know who's in the X-Men anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's a brand new team, so I don't remember exactly who was there. They voted for it, actually, which is Marvel did a vote to see who was going to be on the X-Men. But
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I can't remember who's on them now. And but anyways, yeah, some alien. What happened recently in the X-Men comics, spoiler, is that the X-Men kind of took over and terraformed Mars. So there's this rich guy, kind of like a Elon Musk kind of guy, who was planned his whole life to terraform Mars, doing all this research and stuff, and the X-Men did it in one day with all their powers. So
nice.
He's out for revenge now. So he pretty much
he's the angry Lex Luthor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no.
And yeah, so that was fun. I love X-Men. That's my other big love. But
I'm surprised Warren Worthington didn't fund.
Oh, he's busy.
The terraform.
He's busy with X Corp. It's the mutants own a country now. They're their own country, and now they've gone intergalactic. So yeah,
and planetary and intergalactic.
That's right.
Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
Lots of Yes, you nerds. Lots of new video games you guys didn't mention. Super Robot Wars is coming to North America. It's the Gundam game. Well, it's everything, right? All different robots, Brian?
Yeah, it's a bunch of different robots. It's
is that first-person shooter one I posted?
No,
that's a different one.
This is the other one. I'm trying to remember exactly if this is bringing some of the series or if this is like the Game Boy Advance games that are coming back. But normally it's like a tactical, like a grid-based combat game. So like a in a way kind of XCOM or more like Fire Emblem, I think is probably a close example. But yeah, it's a big crossover event. Super robots. You've got Gundam, Evangelion, Mazinger, Macross, Code Geass. Like they're all in there, and the characters like interact with one another in fun, silly ways.
Are they all chibi? Are they all chibi styled?
Not necessarily. It is. They are smaller. Like it's not. I think more often than not, it's not like a full scale design, but it's not chibi in a cartoonish way. Or typically, it's usually just that the mechs are scaled down to fit on a smaller screen.
Well, it's coming to Steam, so it's going to be on computers. So, yeah. Anyways, enough chibi.
I'm kind of excited for that one.
I'm sure you are.
I think it's probably fun.
That'd be fun.
One of our listeners actually was telling me about it, and he's played the originals, and so it should be a fun time.
Another one that's coming out is called Mecha Knights. It's the trailer's on. It looks like another mech fighting game that I think you found, didn't you, Pat? I think you found that one.
I think that's the one.
And then there's Gundam Evolution, which is a fighting game, which is a Gundam fighting game. So.
Oh no, I think Gundam Evolution is the one
I think you posted them both, but yeah, lots of mech games. I think it's a resurgence of mecha in the video games, and I don't know where it's coming from. Like, it's definitely
the Gundam Evolution one. Is that the first person shooter looking one?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember all the ones. A lot of people were saying that it's basically like Gundam Overwatch. Yeah. And I can't disagree with that sentiment. It looks like they basically give you a number of different suits to pick from, and that it's a multiplayer kind of arena combat game. And some people knock different game where you're basically
Styles.
taking a style, a game style that's popular, and you're putting your own touch on it. I'll just say sometimes that can work out really well. Like Overwatch itself was not a new concept when that came out, and I think Gundam and all the different mech designs and combat situations that you can come into, honestly, it can fit just perfectly fine in that realm. So there's that part of me that's like, man, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, and we'll kind of see how people are liking it when it starts coming across the pond and we start getting our hands on it. And but yeah, it should be a fun game, I think.
Yeah, it matters how it plays. MechWarrior 5 is out, and it plays a little clunky, and I think that turned a lot of people off. If this has a lot more fluid play, especially for a Gundam game, it's not real robots, right? They should be flying over the place, and it should be pretty fast paced. Hopefully, it gets that feel. If it just feels like a port of, like you say, like it looks like skins on top of an Overwatch game, that won't be as good. I don't think. It'll still be better than Overwatch, but not by much. Another big thing is Genlock Season 2 is coming this fall to HBO Max. It's on an actual channel now, not just on YouTube's. And it looks awesome. It's the fallout from Season 1 is happening where what's his name? What's the main character's name? Michael B. Jordan's character. Anyways, he all his clones are out there, and they're going to attack them, and it's going to be a constant... it's almost got a little bit of a Battlestar Galactica feel, where it's just constantly being wave after wave of these faceless drones they have to fight off. So, that looks fun. I can't wait. HBO Max, I can't get that in Canada, but I'm sure I'll find a way to watch it. But, I'm excited for Genlock. And lastly, anybody watch Tomorrow War? Did you guys watch that?
I did.
Brian, did you watch Tomorrow War?
I did not watch Tomorrow War.
All I have to say is it needed mechs. That's all I'm saying. If there was mechs in that movie, it would be the best show ever. But
mechs or powered suits.
Something.
Of some sort.
Something more than what it was.
So this wasn't a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow.
No.
No, not even close.
This was just the war that happens tomorrow.
It's based on a book, I believe, but it's Chris Pratt. People from 30 years in the future come back to our time to recruit people to fight in their war, and he gets drafted.
Do we even talk about it? Does anyone care? Because there's do we spoiler it?
No, we don't have to talk about it. There's nothing to spoil and nothing to talk about other than it needed mechs. That's all I wanted to mention with the show.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say it. I don't care. People are not going to like it anyways.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. But the people they were recruiting were people who were going to be dead before the war started.
Yeah, that's because it had to avoid a paradox. You couldn't go and meet yourself. So you had to be... Everybody who got recruited, it turns out, never made it that 30 years to the time of the war. But
because they already went to the future.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many plot holes in that movie. If you thought about it too hard, your brain would just turn off. So the key to watching Tomorrow War is just...
You're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Well, that's a problem. They're not thinking fourth dimensionally in the movie. It's so, use your brain, people. But anyways, they should have just gotten a bunch of RPG nerds together, and they could have solved it in a day, the whole problem. So that's all. That's all you have to know about that show. It's just turn off your brain and enjoy it, just monster fighting goodness.
Yeah, really, just if you don't think about it too hard, it's not a horrible show.
No, it was fine. It just don't think about it, because if you think about it, you're gonna go, oh, that just doesn't make sense.
Plus, what's her face from Chuck still looks hot.
What's her face from Chuck? I've never watched this show.
The blonde, what was her name? Yvonne.
Was she the mother?
This is the daughter.
Oh, in the future?
Yeah, Yvonne Strauss. She's got some kind of weird.
I don't know.
I think I've seen one.
She's
episode.
got She's got the Iron Curtain last name.
The Russian last name.
There's no mechs in Black Widow either, just to be sure. Speaking of Russians.
Oh.
So
That's disappointing.
yeah, all the big movies, no mechs in them. So we need some mech. We need live action mechs. We have a lot of anime coming out, but not enough live action.
We need mechs in the Olympics. The statues are great, but we need that next step.
Yeah,
we need robot jocks.
Yep. Fight. Hey, if surfing and skateboarding could be in the Olympics, I think you can have mech combat.
If beach handball can be in the Olympics.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that shouldn't be in the Olympics, but anyways, let's get to the MechBay Hanger. We talked enough.
Curling. Okay.
Hey, curling's good. That's Winter Olympics.
I'm Bryan.
And I'm Rick.
From Dead Zone the Podcast.
And you're listening to
Mobile Armor Radio.
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
I'm going to push a stone around.
It's harder than it looks.
Oh, I don't know.
Just because something's hard.
Is bowling in the Olympics? I think it used to be. I don't think it is anymore.
I don't think it is anymore either.
I think
it used to be. Softball is in the Olympics. That's what I'm saying. Softball. Anyways, let's get to the MechBay Hanger here. Yeah, for the MechBay Hanger, this topic, I wanted to give some shout-outs to our favorite online sources of information where we find out about our mechs, like Instagram or Twitter or Patreon or YouTube or Facebook groups. So I thought we'd just throw some out there. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds good.
I'll start. My first one is a Patreon that I don't know, discovered not that long ago. It's called Some Assembly Required, and they make STLs for 3D printing, but they do it for their own designs for Battletech mechs, and they're really awesome, super detailed, like way more detailed than the ones you can buy, and they're quite beautiful, and I love them, and I print them. But yeah, there's Some Assembly Required, it's called. Rick, our friend Rick Hall, he actually knows the guy who runs the thing, so we might actually get a chance to interview these guys at some point. So stay tuned for that. Once again, if you want to hear an interview with them, find out more about the whole process of doing an STL Patreon, maybe we can get into that. But that was my first one, and that's my biggest one because I love these guys, and I've printed, I think, all of the mechs they have offered. And multiple times, because I printed them FDM, now I'm starting to print them in the resin, so... It's well worth it. It's once again, any Patreon for STLs is worth it because you get so much for so little. And these guys put a lot of work into all this stuff, and it's just amazing. So, that's my shout out. Bryan, what do you got? What do you like to get your stuff from?
Well, the first one that definitely came to mind when you kind of put this out there as far as like websites and channels and stuff like that, YouTube.com Gundam Info. So this is basically they post the legitimate ways to watch Gundam shows.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they do new releases and everything like that. They did, all the build fighters is up there. They do rotate countries and languages and stuff like that. They'll do them subtitled. They'll do them with the dubs. It is kind of on a rotation because I think they, whatever deals that they have in place only go for so long and for different countries and whatnot. So, but no, this has been a constant source of great ways to watch different pieces of the Gundam franchise throughout. And like I said, they do a lot of the announcements. I don't know off the top of my head if they are like an official, from Bandai branch or something like that, or if they just go through the right channels and get the content to stream. But no, I really love the content that they post, and I think they've done a great job of getting Gundam into people's hands in a legitimate way, so that they can enjoy all the different series out there.
That's pretty cool.
And how about you, Pat?
I'd like to give a little shout out to. I think they changed their domain name just recently.
Just to be hard to find.
Yeah, well, it's called WCO Stream now, and I think it was the anime dub before. And if you're looking for any kind of mech anime out there that you can't get in the States, like Mazinger, for example, you can go to that website and they'll have either dubbed or subtitled, and they're up there for you to check out.
Nice. It is one of those things where like there are going to be those shows that no one is going to be licensing anytime soon. So
yeah, I mean it's probably not on the up and up, honestly, but
just don't click on any of the ads.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure there'll be some broken links here and there occasionally, but some of these shows are just hard to find in the States, and this is a nice little website for you to go check out if you can't find it on Netflix or anywhere else legit.
Yeah, some stuff is just not available. Like we always.
Yeah, it's just hard. It really is.
Well, I would say about the Macross stuff, it's just not available in North America. You can't until recently, hopefully soon. But
yeah, whenever that happens,
a lot of that stuff you just couldn't get.
Yeah, so WCOstream.com is it now. So that's where when I go back and I watch Mazinger Z, what I think I want to do now is because I never really watched it in a long time is probably go back and watch Mazinkaiser with the crazy metal.
Yeah, that's on. Where did I watch it on? I watched it somewhere. It's on one of the streaming services. I think it was Netflix or Prime had it. It was crazy.
Maybe Prime. Prime got a bunch of old shows.
Yeah, it is quite amazing how much are actually on Prime and Steam, but it's still not everything. And yeah, it's cool. My next one is a Twitter. It's the Art of Battletech and MechWarrior. It's pretty much just a Twitter page that every day they post a bunch of images from the different Battletech and MechWarrior books or covers, and they give all the credit to the artists if they can. They find out who they did it, and it's just nice to see all those old art and they try to find it without the what do they call them, virgin covers, so you can see all the art in its glory. And yeah, I really enjoy every day on Twitter, just scrolling down, all of a sudden seeing a classic artwork from Battletech. And
nice.
I think, yeah, even today, it's still great. But there's something about, nowadays, a lot of it is digital colors, or, it's a lot, you can tell it's digital. I'm just old school. I like the old painted, or, it's got a different feel, for sure, the old art. And I do enjoy the old art. So there you go. What's up next, Bryan?
Next up is another one for anime. Is when you find that you're wanting to purchase some anime shows, WriteStuffAnime.com. So it's Write Stuff with one F. This is a company that's I've bought from for years and years. I've been burned on Amazon buying anime only to get a bootleg version.
Oh yeah, I'm amazed that they do that on. I forget what I bought for my nephew for his birthday one year. I bought all the Studio Ghibli in a box set. Now it's oh, that that's nice. It's on Amazon. You get it, and yeah, it's pretty much a bootleg. It's not the real stuff. I'm like, really? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's so hard to know on Amazon, because they don't care. They get their cut, and that's all they care about. But Right Stuff was one of, probably, not one of the early ones, I'll say, but they've consistently, I think they're based out of Iowa, but they've been a consistent shop where they, do official full releases of shows. They work hard to get those package deals, to get all of the series together and stuff like that. Always have new stuff coming out. And they're part of that big push to get things on Blu-ray, even when everything was still on DVD. So they're a great legit way to get manga and anime and everything else out there.
Cool.
What's up next, Pat?
I like to peruse the Facebook page Battletech International to talk Battletech some stuff there. It's probably one of the bigger Battletech pages out there, 9,000 members. any kind of chat you need or kind of info from Battletech, you can get from there. Yeah, and usually people post some links in there that are relevant, and I guess you could also find some links to some of the lost STLs for like the MechWarrior Online stuff.
Well, there's definitely a Battletech International like printing group too, but yeah, Battletech International. The best thing about them is they have really strict like administrators. So if anybody screws around, they just ban them. Like they're like they're known to be super strict, which is you think that's a bad thing, but you want that. You don't want people posting memes every 2 seconds.
Yeah, especially with 9,000 members.
Yeah, because I'm in some groups, it's just constant memes. Like when any kind of meme starts, it's just for days. It'll be the same meme on this webpage. I'm like, come on, people.
Stop already.
So like,
it's all about family.
The best thing is, I think they had to make a whole new BattleTech group just because there's so much of this that they sent all these people to this other group and said, here, post whatever you want over here, but this is for actual information and posting your models or like serious discussions. Like, it's always good. But yeah, I do enjoy Battletech International. It's one of my go-tos for Battletech info on Facebook. Cool. My next one, my last one, is Black Pants Legion on YouTube. And that's because that's where Tex Talks Battletech is. And we've discussed it before, but if you're new to Battletech or you just want a really good like history lesson of Battletech, you just go there, and he has a really great voice, and he is funny, but he's still informative, and so much research goes into it. He doesn't put out a new episode it's like 3 months between episodes because he does all this research, and they edit it, like it's usually like 2 hours long, and they edit together all this stuff, whatever subject it is, and it's a quite amazing production for it. It's not quick, but it's effective, and I really enjoy it. And it's also funny because there's interludes with like fake car commercials or fake like car salesmen who sell mechs, or the Steiner Scout Lance, which is just a bunch of assault mechs.
Yeah. It's screaming, we're scouting.
I scouted them right into the ground, yeah. And they're just like, stomping on buildings and stuff. It's hilarious. But, yeah, so if anybody hasn't watched it, I'm sure most people listening to this has probably watched Tex Talks Battletech, but go check it out. Black Pants Legion on YouTube. They do other things on it. Like, they also have, like, live streams and do a lot for charity and stuff, but it's fun stuff.
Even if you don't check that out, because the lore of BattleTech is kind of daunting.
Well, that's it, yeah. That's the beauty of this. It makes it, it's long, but it makes it interesting, so it's like, if this guy was an actual, like, professor and teaching actual history, I think he would actually be really good at that. Because it makes it fun to hear the history of it. Because Battletech is so in-depth, I think it has more history than most real history, so, yeah. It is good for even someone who's not into Battletech. I think it would really, it's still funny enough, and, like, they really gets into it. He is biased, like, he hates the clans, and he hates Lau.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat would love him because I think he's a Steiner guy too. So, anyways, fun stuff. But it takes place in the universe too, which is fun. So he's teaching at a school in the Battletech universe, the history of Battletech.
Fun.
So all the time he gets raided and they have to go somewhere else, and it's a fun little show. So I would suggest that to anybody who hasn't watched it. Got any more, Brian?
Yeah, so I think for my last one here, I've got Hobby Link Japan, HLJ.com. You probably have heard me talk about this site as well in the past. It's another. I don't know why I kind of just keep pushing. Like these have been sites I've always gone to make sure like what I'm getting is authentic and legitimate. And supporting the original artist is a big factor for me. And so Hobby Link Japan does a lot of figurines and model kits and stuff like that. Not just giant robots and stuff. They'll also do like I'm on the site right now, and they have a new Harley Quinn for the Batman Hush series that came out. They got spaceships, they got Kingdom Hearts stuff, all sorts of, model kits from under the sun, like, battleships, starships, and airplanes, everything like that. You can find it here at HobbyLink Japan. Man, just like advertising.
And it actually ships from Japan too, right? It's all.
Yep.
Pat,
Yep,
didn't
they
you just
ship
buy
from
something
Japan.
from them recently?
Yeah, I bought those Legios.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm on there right now. There's a
Those,
really
what
cool
are those
Ahsoka figure.
Yeah, the Robotech.
Yeah, the Robotech Legios.
Masters. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what are those damn suits? Cyclones or the Mosquitos?
Yeah, they're not Cyclones. They're the bigger ships.
No,
but,
I can't remember what they're. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's a great site.
But
It's the North American version's kind of, but this has more models. But Big Bad Toy Store, if you want toys, is kind of similar. But this is everything, though. This is models, kits, and anything Japanese you can get at HobbyLink. That's for sure.
I will say you do tend to pay a little bit of a premium on some of this stuff, but again, it is the original, the legit version of what you're getting. So the detail is always there, the quality is great, the shipping has always been fantastic. This is where I got my Evangelion model kit, and or not Evangelion, Escaflowne model kit. And a couple other ones through the past. So my Stark Jagan from way back when that I still haven't put together. I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in Gundam Hathaway that the Jagan was relegated to like fire extinguisher duty, but that's beside the point. So yeah, HobbyLink Japan, if you're looking to get model kits or action figures and stuff like that, definitely check them out.
Yeah, if you can't get to Japan to go to one of their stores, this is the next closest thing you can do.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a lot cheaper than flying to Japan to go to one of their superstores. So.
How about your pet?
My last one would be Mobile Armor Radio Facebook page. And that's not even a joke, because as far as some of the more obscure stuff, that hat goes to Bryan, and Rob seems to get other links way ahead of me. So I get a lot of news from you guys when you post on the Mobile Armor Radio site.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we do. It is a good place because it's where we all, when we do find things at other places, I tend to just repost it onto our site. So
yeah, I mean, it's a great pipeline. It really is. That's not even really a joke.
Well, it's yeah. I wish other people would post more of the stuff they find, but I think we cover a lot, so I don't know how much more there is.
Yeah.
We always beat them to the punch.
Yeah. But
I mean, if we do, then we're doing our jobs, I guess, right?
Right. It's the reporting you requested.
Yeah, it is. I don't think anybody listening to this is probably not on the Facebook page unless you're not on Facebook. Quite a few people just don't do Facebook, but
respect to those people.
A lot of stuff goes on Twitter, though, our Twitter page, and less on Discord, but I do post stuff on Discord, too. But, yeah, it's where I find it. If I find it on Twitter, I'll repost on Twitter. I tend not to post that on Facebook, because it's just a pain in the butt. So, and if I find it anywhere on the internet, I tend to post it on Facebook, because that's the easiest place to post things. So
yeah.
There was something else that I was going to give a shout-out to. Like, I remembered when you guys were talking, I was like, oh, yeah, I should mention that, but now I can't remember what it was, so must not have been that good.
Was it Dead Zone, the podcast? I mean, that's a great show too.
You already get an ad in here. Don't start asking for more here. You have to talk about more mechs in it. Well, you did talk about what's Overdrive, right? It's got a lot of mechs in it.
Yeah, we did. We did talk about Overdrive.
There you go. If anybody's interested in some large creature in mech combat in like an arena, check out Mantic's Overdrive.
Sumo wrestling.
And Capture the Flag, and what was there, 7 different gameplay options or something? So.
Yeah, there's like a good 5 or 6.
There's 7 different modes.
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked for that game. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
You probably have most of the miniatures already.
Most of them, yeah.
You're excited about the Indage on the wolf thing, right? You gonna find rules for that in your Red Force for Dead Zone?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I knew I could see who they made that one for.
Specifically for Bryan.
Yep.
Woo, go Rebs.
So if anybody has other places they like to check out on the social medias or internets or anywheres, please do on the topic on Facebook or on where else are we? Not Instagram. Why aren't we on Instagram?
Twitter?
We're just not on Instagram.
Are we not? I thought we were.
No, I don't. Twitter.
You're kind of the social media coordinator.
Butterfly?
I don't do Instagram. That's probably why I don't have anything on Instagram. So
I did not post on Instagram, Pat.
yeah, Pat, you're the Instagram guy.
Well, I mean, because that's the only social media I basically have now. Besides, I mean, I only keep Facebook for the romantic work purposes.
Yeah. You people. But, yeah. So if anybody else has anything they'd like to give a shout out to, please do post below or anywhere.
For sure.
And, yeah, let us know. I'm sure there's tons of other stuff. There's obviously lots of other stuff we go to that I didn't mention, but those are the ones that came to mind when I was thinking of this stuff. So, I think we'll get to the ExFil and finish this off.
Let's do it.
Let's exfil out of here.
And we're in the ExFil. This was another jam-packed episode. We had a lot to talk about.
We did, actually, this time.
Yeah.
So hopefully we have more. Yeah, more going on next month. But yeah, it should be good. Next month is September, so it won't be long until Gen Con.
Ugh. If it happens, get your vaccine so we can have Gen Con, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, right now. Who knows? But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Do join us on any of our social medias, or you can email us if you want to, I don't know, email us for some reason at mobilearmradio@gmail.com. And
if you got a mech Kickstarter you want to talk about,
yeah,
blah blah,
sure.
Things like all that good stuff.
Anybody who has a Patreon with mechs in it, or just cool Patreon stuff, let us know. We'll definitely shout it out. And until next time, I've been Rob.
I've been Bryan.
And I've been Chopper.
We'll see you on 39.
39. It was the summer of 39.
That doesn't work.
Oh.
Enough of this.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter @MArmorRadio. Find us on iTunes and visit our website, mobilearmorradio.podbean.com. Join us on the first of every month for more mecha discussion.